I want to thank my Heavenly Father. You already know Easy A in the building, Easy. I want to thank my Heavenly Father, et cetera, the all in all. I'm anxious to get into this one. It's crazy how the thing that y'all been doing, some of y'all knowing how wicked it is, some of y'all not knowing, just caught up in life, thinking everything is, the bullshit high school shit, the haves and the have-nots, or the unique, the misfits, you know, us against them, being verbal and emotional bullies. Then you had the physical ones, and they all grew up. Some of them grew out of it, some of them stayed in it. Some of the individuals that, was caught up in the bullying and being a misfit and having all that pressure and not understanding what was actually going on. I'm not gonna say y'all didn't question stuff, but y'all gave up. Yes, y'all, you said, if you can't beat them, join them. Then, you know, it turned into excitement when you was able to change yourself enough where you was included, and if you wasn't included, you built yourself enough to make your own. But instead of, if you did make your own, instead of y'all being being the true you, and also developing that part that, that bully part without bullying, but for strictly defense for yourself and, the little collective that you put together, because basically that's 9 times out of 10, consciously or consciously, you're manifested or, you know, put together that situation to have cover for yourselves. You know, I hold no judgment. I commend it. It was a survival tactic. It's what saved you into whatever point. But instead of integrating it with your, with who you truly are, you programmed yourself into that new facade, that new identity. Some is only one, some is many. It depends on how your brain works, you know. Some evolved, and you keep, was you in the wrong? 100% yes. Is it totally your fault? Yeah, yes and no. Everything is like that. Everything is a contradiction, believe it or not, because it's two sides to everything. No matter how many different stories, how many different situations, two similar situations, it's basically the same thing. you might have not went through what that person went through, but basically, y'all went through the root of it, the root of you, and that's what's saying, Lord. I've been saying this shit for years, yo, and I've been putting that with politics. Like, this is how I know that saying, the world is a stage. This is how I know that it really coincides with the system of the elites that's, running or co-managing this abomination, this, how like, for me to actually perceive me to be God, the only, the one and true God. Oh, blasphemy. That's what it is. I had to get it out of my mouth. Put it, put the definition out there for me to, for it to pop up in my head. Or Spirit gave it to me because they see I was going, go hard for that one. Blasphemy. It is the, corrupt system. It's the system works perfectly. It really does. It just, the corruption, the, oh, I understand it because, say I kill somebody and you kill somebody. You could kill 10 people, I could have killed one. Should our time be different? And if you notice, the ones that you call didn't do mass murders, they still got more time than the person that, lost, what you would say, went insane and did, horrific act, a wicked, sinister, low vibrational, childish, and even those words don't fit for it, for that type of shit. Then you got the ones that do that type of shit and have money. You don't even hear show up in court. For real, it don't pop up on the news. They might have paid off the family if the family, is, most likely the families that, that do take that bribe or that payout don't know that they getting ripped off, number one, in two ways, and, in more than one way, that they lost, a vital component to their lineage, and the money that they so called to console them or get them over really ain't shit. And people that have money that's able, to get themselves out that situation, even if it pops up in the news, able to somehow get out of that, and they completely guilty. Now, if they ain't guilty, I hope and pray that that person always gets out of that situation, because it's a must. And if they don't, it is a how you say, a, a crime, a true crime, a crime of, in any sense, a crime of nature, a crime of creation. That's why he tells you that you go, be careful what you do, because my judgment is real. It's the same forever, to eternity. If you don't live by these governing laws, not your politic laws, not your city laws, not your state laws, but these governing of all laws, you're going to reap what you sow. You will be chastised. And it's not that you just going to be chastised, because it gives y'all grace. What y'all going through now is because y'all was given so much grace. It ain't the one thing you did or to the one person you did. It's to everybody you ever did anything to in any similar situation that you did all your life, and maybe even past lives. Because who knows that if you, well, most likely it's from past lives too. For the simple fact, if you did get caught in the past life, your spirit will remember though that situation. There's no way in the world you lived the whole life, no matter how you lived it, and your spirit don't have that data. That's how you got, people that could, call up past lives. They could call up lives that they just lived maybe 10 years ago, grew up on a whole nother continent, whole nother sex, race, language, and everything, and could tell you, remember that life, tell you names, tell you situations with clarity. And then if you actually take what that individual is basically wholeheartedly being, you can't fake. You can act, but you can't fake genuineness. And when it's too real, yeah, it's true. Only thing you got to do is look it up. All right, what you call Google, Google that area that they first described, the name or whatever, if it's possible, because he's going to show you the map. She going to show you the map. She's going to tell you where the village. She's going to tell you the town. She's going to tell you the state. She's going to tell. She going to. Only thing you have to do is either get an interpreter that speaks that language, or learn the language yourself. Call that continent, or get in contact, in contact with that side of the world. Give them that information. You might have to pay for it. You might have to, what you call, prove that you are such and such, and they're gonna ask you why, you know, you need this information, which it should. You shouldn't be just giving people information away. Even if it is that much that person is able to give that much definition and all that. If anything, they will get in contact with that person and give them your number, or set up a situation for that to happen. And that's only if the person that you got in contact with, that state, that country, whatever, gets in contact with them, and that person agrees with being curious of what the hell is just being presented to them. But you'll get your info. You'll see if your kid is crazy or the person that's talking is crazy. And crazy really ain't crazy. Crazy is the alternate person that's in you, the one that you creating as you moving. Every second, or at least I would say me. And when I think of me, I think of everybody, which I'm starting to realize that y'all don't perceive it the same way, and because y'all don't perceive it the same way, it's not the same. And that clarity saved me a lot of logic putting in, and it's so crazy. It's not that I do it on purpose. My logic has been so refined that it's done in the unconscious. A lot of the stuff that I actually, or what y'all will, the words y'all will put is mastered, but there is no masters. There's only teachers and students, and teachers. For real, your teacher is actually a student teaching a student. No matter how vast he or her knowledge is, where did they learn it from? Who did they learn it from? Where did that person learn it from? Then you got to take it all the way back to the originator of all that. Where did he get it from? The source, God, creation, the whole and all. I'm telling you, I can't. I like saying, getting this off my chest because I know the ones that do tap in, that do consistently, even if you don't do it consistently, from the first time, whatever video you capture, the truth have started something. The the energy made you. It's gonna make you think. It's going even if you don't think, your subconscious, your spirit is going to force. Because that's what I'm talking to. The spirit is going to force that upon you, these realizations. And the more and more you ignore the signs, the more and more the signs is going to get extreme. It's going to be a whisper. It's going to be a tap. It's going to be a brush. Then it's going to be a slap. Then it's going to be a punch. Then the punches start getting harder. You could be hard headed. You could be hard headed to death. Hard head make a soft ass. No, a hard head makes a bad decision for your health, for your health, mental health, physical health, spiritual health. You have family that you've never seen, maybe don't even know of, never heard stories of. That's all screaming at you, let alone the angels. You know, your all everybody alive and dead. We are truly family. If you want to see, believe it or not, or see it or not, we cousins, we sisters, we brothers, we uncles, we distant cousins. Everybody is a distant cousins. We all came from one that was made two, that populated the world. I know y'all get into that. Oh, I mean, it was incest and all this other shit. That's a lower vibration, number one. Number two, God got control of everything. So if he allowed that, that was on him. And he kept whatever needed to be straight when it came to the DNA and the defects, or, the, and I'm sorry, my words, but the words is the words of the world. And censorship is just a way of controlling knowledge. It's not just controlling stuff that you feel shouldn't be, you know, put on regular television, because that's what censorship was supposed to be. That you couldn't do certain shit on regular television. But how do we have censorship now, even more now, when the censorship that we had back then is no longer in effect in the stuff that we watch now. Did I just make that up? Or is that true? If your grandmother's alive, ask that question. If your mom, your dad is alive, ask that question. To all of them, to the eldest of your family, to the young, to your age, and ask if that is a true situation that actually happened. Our elders, our seniors, they're real treasure troves. We have lost the respect and dialect and the knowledge has been passed down for generations and generations and generations. Instead of us prospering, being abundant and being the being, the cosmic being, the multi creational being, to this closed off, weak minded, fear fear ridden mental cage that we allowed ourselves to be put into. Everybody that has had a original thought or uh, unorthodox from the norm thinking capacity, you know, knowing, feeling, understanding concepts that is universally known but not accessed because we was trained to not to believe in fantasy, sci-fi, dreams, not just the dreams that you see and that you go, but awake dreams. Your dreams in your sleep is trying to tell you something, nightmare or fantasy. For me, I believe everybody ever existed. This is another absolute law of the universe. Have had a dream of places that they don't recognize or maybe recognize, having a good jolly time, or it'll flip from everything cool to something chaotic. You might not be able to remember faces, but you remember conversations, you remember surroundings, you remember the feel. You wake up, you forget about it. You might remember little pieces or whatever, but you forget about it. Then later on in life, you just being you, enjoying you, and somebody new is introduced into this equation, or somebody that you just met and y'all been, getting to know each other. And a situation, a conversation, a outing trigger one of y'all with a flashback where they're like, "Yo, hold on, yo, this is deja vu. I lived this before. We done this before." And the other person that you know maybe not on the able to see that sign or had that dream or on your same resonation at the time. They'll say you bugging, or they might even let it slide. But at the end of the day, they, you know, warped in their head. Yo, what the hell that person is talking about? Why would they say da, da, da? And they might not just question it. They might actually, you know, try to sit back and sync up with that situation. He might call you back and be like, yo, I kind of remember that shit. Like, yo, did you go? And that's only if they being real. Right? I don't think a person will make that up, and you know, after they was told that they would go home and actually plan, unless I just put it in your motherfucking heads to do so with my stupid ass mouth. But I don't think naturally a person will think to call a person back and try to chime in on it after the fact, which will seem suspicious, but at the same time, if that person is really genuine, you would know. You you would definitely know. But I'm not finished with this one. I'm gonna take a little break, put a little something in my stomach, and I'll be right back with y'all with some more shit that I need to get off my chest towards my situation. Stay blessed.